was this posturing? Because we let them strike an empty U.S. base back after Soleimani too. Mm-hmm. And, it was very clearly telegraphed. Trump didn't even care about it. He even sent out a tweet at the time where he was like, everything's good, no damage, blah, 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 moved on. Was this Iran saving face? Because that seems to be something we let people do. Or is this them, testing the Patriot missile defense system and, the first of many strikes to come?
I mean, I think it's probably a mix of both. Throughout this conflict, Iran has sort of been looking less and less competent. Remember, what was it last week? They're like, big, shocking surprise coming that will change everyone's lives.
It will be in the history books.
In the history books. And then nothing happened.
They got bombed.
Right. And then I was listening to mainstream media this morning and NBC, and they were talking about the injury count. And there are at least what I've heard reported is 400 dead in Iran, less than 100 in Israel, thousands injured in Iran as well. And so they are clearly looking weak on an international stage. I mean, I think a lot of people were really concerned at the reports of potential sleeper cells in the U.S. activating. As far as I can see, and thank goodness for it, there was nothing. And so they do need to show some sort of force. I don't know that they have the capabilities to really to flex a muscle that we are afraid they have, because my presumption would be they only have one shot, and if they try to do something now, they leave themselves very vulnerable. But it's hard to say. It's such an easy place to speculate, and everyone's fears and all the rumors run rampant. I don't want to put too much out there and just be disserving people with guesswork.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of wishful thinking that a lot of people are going through right now, saying, the Iranians, they're not going to strike back. Someone posted earlier today on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen that guy.
To be fair, Lucas, they haven't.
They're not going to strike. They're not going to do it.
Well, they didn't.
I mean, if they do it, they also then have to continue fighting, and I just don't know what they're capable of. And by that I mean I don't think they're as menacing as they would like to be.
But assuming that they don't have the capabilities is very wishful thinking. And it's.
But why haven't they used them yet?
The neocon talking book right now, inside of the pro-war talking book right now, because we don't know, right? Alex Jones came out and said that they already do have a nuke. Russia is now having conversations within its government members about giving them a nuke.
Yeah, that didn't look good. That was suboptimal. But wouldn't that be an act of war, Luke? If Russia did that, they're in the war then.
Listen, Trump now doing nuclear brinksmanship through Truth Social posts with the former Russian president is not a good look. I did not vote for this. He promised that this was not going to happen. He needs to hear from the base that this is not what we want. He's getting inundated with all these crazy pro-war mongerers. And whether this is a symbolic strike or it's not a symbolic strike, this is not the end of this. Okay, we were told, and some people regurgitated this failed talking point, that we're just going to bomb these nuclear facilities and it's going to be over. It's going to be fine. All right, and nothing's going to happen. That's not the case here. Israel is still continuing to bomb Iran with the help, aid, assistance of the United States. That is also doing their defense for them after these particular attacks. This is a clear escalation. This doesn't end well. And we are on the trajectory of something really awful. We could wish, no sleeper cells. We could wish no nukes. We could wish no retaliation. But that's wishful thinking, and that's putting your head in the sand and not taking the situation seriously enough.
Well, I think that's reasonable. I also think that not knowing also does not prove the negative. Just because we don't know whether or not they have a nuke does not mean they have one. You know what I mean?
We wish that they don't have one. We wish that they don't retaliate. But wishing when we're bombing them isn't a good thing.
But let me ask you this, Luke, before I go to Mark. Why haven't they done anything? They've done nothing. They're just getting their shit pushed in by Israel every day, and they keep talking about. People keep saying, but they could.
Israel has banned any reporting of strikes that are happening
so
from the Iranians.
Are they?
Right?
So you're saying that they are doing it?
People were saying, look, Iran's done. They no longer have any missiles. They're not striking anything, except for when those Indians were on that.
They got that. Yeah.
Like, oh crap! Guess what? The situation is a lot different than what we were being told it is. Charlie Kirk also reported that out of those 6 missiles, 3 of them struck.
He was wrong.
he reported that. We don't know exactly what happened here, but we have to understand here the results of what happened here are also probably going to be obfuscated in some kind of way to push some kind of narrative here. Now, the narrative of regime change of what Donald Trump is talking about and nuclear brinksmanship isn't what I want to see happen right now. And I think it's fair to say, unless you guys disagree with me, this is a very bad trajectory that we are on. I was trying to warn people about this trajectory, and I think we need all hands on deck saying we don't want this to escalate further. Yes or no?
Well, I mean, I think that everyone has been saying that. I actually had a thought to that. I'm going to get to Mark, and then I'm going to go reverse back around here. Because I think there may be a more nefarious reason for these strikes in Iran. But Mark, what do you think's going on? Do you think this was just for show, or do you think that this puts, we're back in we're either this is Soleimani, where we took him out and we had a symbolic attack and that was the end of it, or this is Afghanistan?
I'm leaning towards symbolic. That's where I'm leaning based on what Trump has done in the past. I don't think he wants a hot war. I don't think he wants a forever war. I think that there's stuff going on we don't see. There's stuff that we don't know. They could have intelligence. Maybe it's just him posturing. It's something I didn't want to see. In my opinion, we shouldn't deploy anything anywhere. We should not be helping Israel. We should be friends with them. We should try to be friends with everybody. I think we should be allies with Russia and China as trading partners. But we get in this hot war, and I think people don't understand how the Middle East is. Israelis and Arabs hate each other. If you guys didn't know that. I've heard. A deep, deep hatred. Now, my mother served in the IDF, and my mom really hated Arabs, just hated them. It is so deeply in their system that there will always be a forever war in the Middle East. Always. So we just need to look at the fact that I think that Trump is, he probably talked all the shit he could, and they were still doing what they're doing. So he's like, all right, I'm going to show them I'm willing to act. But think about it. Did he kill anybody? No.
No, I saw reports that they basically had evacuated them.
Yeah.
I think Trump leaked that, told them to, you better get out of there. Because I don't think they killed anybody in those strikes.
Yeah. And Iran's going to throw some bombs at Qatar, and it's going to kill nobody. It's going to get intercepted. Everybody's making a little move. They all look like they're not weak. And I think there's going to blow. I'm hoping that this is going to just blow over. That's what I'm hoping for. But would this be it's like, well, you voted for Trump. I'd still vote for Trump even after this. Like, what are your options? Chase, Kamala, and Jill Stein? Like,
well, I do think it's funny. A lot of the, hold on, look, I'll come back to you in a sec. A lot of the people that are like, Trump betrayed me. Like, people don't remember his first presidency. Like, he did this then too. Let me ask you this, Mark, and we'll go back around the horn the other way. Yeah. There's some chatter that there are like neocons that are holding the big beautiful bill off, holding that over Trump's head in exchange for war with Iran. You think there's any truth to that?
So I can only go by what I am told and what I know and who I know. I know a lot of people who are close to Trump, and that doesn't seem like something he'd let happen. I think this is Trump acting. I don't think he's being blackmailed. I don't think there's any kind of coercion to do this. I think Trump unilaterally said, I'm going to drop some bunker busters, and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to show them that I'm willing to drop some bombs on them so they back off of whatever he needs them to back off of doing.
People conveniently forgot. I'm going to kick it over to Luke after this, but like, people conveniently forgot, like, Trump had given them 60 days plus, and you can only say, I'm a bomb you so many times before you have to do it. He did kind of talk himself into a bit of a corner where, like, eventually if Iran said, hey, we're not going to do this, which is that's what all signs point to, the reporting that, they're flying to whatever a stand to talk. And then the very next day, Iran declines a deal. I'm assuming Trump basically had no choice at that point. Like, well, I've been saying this, now I have to do it. Luke, what do you think? Do you think there's any
backward explanation is that? What kind of excuse is that for Donald Trump? Donald Trump was saying there's going to be consequences. He never said bomb.
But that's
saying he talked himself into bombing someone, so now we have to be involved in another Middle Eastern war that's promoting regime change. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous assertion. He
bombed buildings. Yeah,
he bombed stuff. But
listen, having hope here is nonsensical in my opinion, because every step of the way here there's escalations, right? It's not like we're de-escalating. It's not like we're moving military equipment out of the Middle East. We keep moving more in for long haul here, okay? And unless we see actual clear de-escalations,
didn't we clear that entire military base?
That hope also gives the warmongers and the neocons leverage in order to push and propel their propaganda forward. We need to call.
What do you think about the BBB thing? Do you think that neocons were holding that over Trump's head? I just saw some chatter on that. I didn't know that they were not going to vote for his big beautiful bill if he didn't do the Iran thing
and endangering us with Iranian Shia terrorists in order to pass a bill, right? If Donald Trump is going to,
I'm asking. Do you think it's possible it happened though? Not like whether or not you agree with it.
Anything's possible. Of course, anything's possible, hypothetically speaking. Yeah. But this has been a plan that has been in the works for over a year. U.S. intelligence under Joe Biden was planning this attack on Iran last year, right? Mm-hmm. So we knew this was on the books here, and Bibi has been trying to do this for 20 years.
Was that before or after he gave him the $6 billion or the $9 billion? Do you remember?
You're talking about the Iranians?
Yeah. Didn't Joe Biden give him?
He didn't give Iran $6 billion. He opened up their ability to take their $6 billion that they previously had before held up in the banking system.
For what'd they get that for?
For sanctions.
Yeah. But I mean, like
we're holding Russian money right now too, with the sanctions in the form of economic warfare that we've been raging against them. And I've been arguing that economic warfare is going to kind of build up.
Didn't they get that money for hostages? Am I not remembering that right?
I'm not clear.
It was so long ago, I can't remember. Yeah. I just remember them freeing it up. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
But in my opinion, hoping things are good is not going to make things good. Clearly sending out a message saying, I don't support this, I don't want this, is what I think needs to happen in order to counter a lot of these Fox News pundits that are telling us that 2 + 2 = 5 right now, and that war is peace. Mark Levin literally saying war is peace. We're going to bring peace by bombing other countries.
Well, that's on brand with Mark Levin, though. Yeah. That's what he does. Yeah. He loves war.
That's what Donald Trump is watching. That's what Donald Trump is being inundated with and being told, hey, this is a great thing. People love this. Keep going. And that's something that, of course, isn't based with reality, as the vast majority of Americans are saying, we have so many problems at home, we should prioritize and take care of. Can we please take care of the issues dealing with the average American instead of spending hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars now, starting another quagmire war for a country that was never really a threat against us?
Anna Claire,
what do you think? Well, Jeremy, I feel like I know exactly what you're going to say to me once I bring this up, but we're talking a lot about Iran. We obviously have to also acknowledge Israel's role in this. I hate to do it because Jeremy's going to make fun of me.
What? Why would we say?
Well,
the Jews own everything.
Rumors about
Mark, I know that. Hey, do you have a file on Mark too? Because she has a file on every.
But I do want to point out
we have files on everyone too. It's what we do.
I have no files. That's a you guys thing. But I did a video that's up on my channel right now, talking about stuff that went on in Congress last week. And Claudia Tenney, who's a congresswoman from New York, she introduced House Resolution 521, saying that we're, as a nation, going to stand with Israel as they work to dismantle Iran's nuclear capabilities. I agree that tension has been going on for a long time. I think Mark's absolutely right that there is a forever war in the Middle East, similar to the conversation we have when we talk about the conflict between Israel and Hamas, right? The dispute over that land doesn't just go back to a couple of years ago. It goes back hundreds of years. And in this case, I think that the ties that we have, our sense of loyalty to Israel, is kind of what's getting us into this mess. I think, unfortunately, this is going to be a big distraction from Trump's administration. I mean, Luke is totally right. It could take up to 2 years to resolve it. It could be done in 2 weeks. But either way, that's time wasted. That time should have been spent on resolving domestic issues, because that's what the MAGA base wanted. And even if you have people who are clamoring for war, they're going to make their money, whatever you want to call, whatever you want to say, ultimately, all of them are reelected by the people. And I think the people are disappointed that we are facing yet another conflict. And it's interesting to see that we had a sitting congressman take time to reaffirm our commitment to our alliance with Israel. But really, that's not what I think most voters are interested in. I mean, people look at this like it's going to take their sons and daughters away from them, and they're already dealing with all kinds of stuff. This isn't what they want long term. And I really hope it's just not the long term legacy of the Trump administration.